Here's your wrestling news for February 17th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: big match booked for WWE SmackDown this week. Vince McMahon doesn't see anything in two major WWE superstars. WWE could have big WrestleMania match for Shane McMahon. Shocking news of Tessa Blanchard getting punched in the face. WWE star injured during Raw match, out for months. Sammy Guevara takes shot at rumors of heat with AEW. Braun Strowman makes fun of Brock Lesnar lookalike Parker Boudreaux. Keith Lee's status for WWE Elimination Chamber is up in the air. WWE provides major update on wrestlers using third-party apps. Tony Khan says WWE is more than welcome to work with AEW. John Cena had legitimate heat for choking out superstars with the STF. Renee Paquette flexes on accidentally making WWE champion bleed, and more. We are kicking off today with SmackDown, and this Friday's show will see a huge six-man tag ahead of the Elimination Chamber match. During a Raw commercial break, it was confirmed that King Corbin, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn will face Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Cesaro. All six men will be facing each other at the Elimination Chamber, with the winner facing Universal Champion Roman Reigns that same night. But before then, the two teams will have to find a way to get along. Two people who aren't booked for this Sunday's pay-per-view are Aleister Black and Andrade, and fans haven't seen either man for a while. Neither man has competed since the October 12th, 2020 Raw, where both men lost as Andrade came up short against Angel Garza and Black fell to Kevin Owens. On the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained how things aren't looking good for either man, explaining, "Vince doesn't see anything in Aleister Black or Andrade or any of those guys that when Heyman lost his position as Raw Executive Director, and I said the guys that are the only one that ended up not being completely was Shayna. Paul Heyman had a list of names he wanted to push as Raw Executive Director, but Meltzer noted that aside from Shayna Baszler, the rest can be found in catering with Bo Dallas. We'll have to see if plans change for Black or Andrade, but with Vince McMahon not seeing anything in either man, the future looks bleak for both former NXT champions. Neither man is expected for WrestleMania 37, but one man who could make the two-night event is Shane McMahon. Shane returned last week to make an announcement about the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and whilst he wasn't on Raw this week, Braun Strowman was, and was looking for him. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer said that a match between Braun and Shane could happen at WrestleMania, especially as WWE is wanting big names for the event. Having a former Universal Champion and the self-professed best in the world would make for an interesting match, and we'll have to see whether WWE hints at a match between the two when Strowman finally finds Shane O'Mac. Now, one day before her historic Impact title win, Tessa Blanchard was called out with a flood of allegations, but La Rosa Negra's is by far the worst. La Rosa claimed that during a trip in Japan, Blanchard called her the N-word, but didn't demand an apology at the time because Blanchard had already denied the claim. Speaking to Fightful Select this week, saying it'll be one of the last times she'll speak on the matter, La Rosa added that things got physical between the two, saying, "When she spit in my face, unfortunately, I did what I had to do, and that was to land one on her snout for having disrespected me and insult me." Blanchard was released from Impact as world champion when she missed a ton of events, and now she's a newlywed free agent, with her wrestling career far from over. Back to WWE, and this week's Raw saw Matt Riddle team with the Lucha House Party to defeat Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP, and it was the Hurt Business's leader who was feeling hurt post-match. That's according to Dave Meltzer, who reports that MVP suffered a knee injury during the match, though the exact nature of the injury or its severity isn't known at this time. Meltzer noted that at one point in the match when MVP entered the ring, his knee gave out on him, and said that this wasn't part of the storyline. Adding that MVP was limping on Raw Talk and had crutches, Meltzer compared this injury to Kevin Nash's quad tear, and PW Insider gave an update saying that the Hurt Business leader traveled to Birmingham, Alabama to see a doctor. In the past, countless WWE superstars have traveled to Birmingham to attend the Andrews Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center to undergo injury evaluations and surgery. MVP himself confirmed the bad news when a fan said he's gotten very slow hitting his ball and elbow drop, and he replied saying, "You try doing it with one good knee." It's unclear what MVP's injury is or if he'll need surgery, but we're hoping for a speedy recovery for the former United States champion. AEW Next and Sammy Guevara recently caused some issues between AEW and Impact when he heavily criticized the planned segment that he was meant to film with Impact Wrestling. The Spanish God also showed up far later than planned for the taping, and by the time he was in Nashville, was told to go home immediately and not go near Impact's studio. Though there's been reports on Guevara having heat with AEW, that isn't the case, and the former Inner Circle member poked some fun at these false reports. In the latest episode of his vlog, Guevara was asked why he was making snow angels without a jacket, and said that the internet says he already has plenty of heat. Though there's no heat between him and AEW or AEW and Impact, there is reported heat between Impact and him, so fans shouldn't expect Guevara in the Impact zone anytime soon. Now, Parker Boudreaux recently made headlines by signing a developmental deal with WWE, but one person not impressed by the Brock Lesnar lookalike is Braun Strowman. When Boudreaux recently shared a photo of his jacked physique, one fan said that Parker vs. Strowman would be a WrestleMania-worthy match, though Braun replied, saying people should call him if Parker figures out how to even put laces in his boots. The monster among men clearly isn't impressed by Boudreaux, but many are, and it'll be interesting to see where the WWE's newest signee goes from here. We've got some sad news regarding Teddy Hart, as he's once again been arrested. This week, Hart was charged with evading arrest, injuring child, elderly, or disabled, and possession of controlled substances. Hart is currently incarcerated in the Tarrant County Correction Center, and after multiple brush-ins with the law, time will tell how long he stays behind bars this time. Back to the ring, and Damian Priest made his main roster debut at the 2021 Royal Rumble event and is doing very well for himself on the main roster. Fightful Select is reporting that Priest was extremely well liked during his Rumble appearance and has been praised by everyone backstage since then. One source within WWE said Priest was given a full plate across both the Rumble and Raw and did everything they expected of him and more, despite being thrown into the deep end. With such a popular reaction backstage, it's no wonder why WWE is giving Priest a huge match at WrestleMania, and while some fans aren't thrilled about him working with Bad Bunny, the former North American champion is being guaranteed airtime on the road to the biggest show of 2021. Although Priest has impressed many backstage, Keith Lee wasn't seen on Raw and was barely referenced during the show. Dave Meltzer is reporting that there's something going on with the Limitless One and that his status for this Sunday's triple threat match is in question. Lee is supposed to face Riddle and Bobby Lashley for the United States title, and there's currently no known explanation for why Lee wasn't used and barely mentioned. Between this and Lacey Evans' pregnancy disrupting the Raw Women's title match, the only two confirmed matches for this Sunday are the two titular Elimination Chamber matches, and we'll have to see if the Limitless One makes it to the pay-per-view. Now, last week, WWE clamped down even further on wrestlers' third-party deals and now aren't allowed to mention other companies on their social media. We've got an update on what this new rule specifically is, as Dave Meltzer explained that all superstars must cease with any third-party deals and can't refer to any third party by name on their social media. If they took a photo and they're eating an Oreo cookie, that in fact they could probably get away with eating the Oreo cookie no problem. If they mention Oreo, then they've gone through the fine line. It was later reported that this isn't entirely the case, as superstars might be able to mention or feature any brand on their social media as long as they're not in a financial deal with them. So in Meltzer's example, a wrestler would be able to reference the Oreo company, but only as long as they didn't have a deal with the cookie manufacturer. Though this isn't as bad as first feared, it's still really bad for superstars, some of which were earning $500,000 a year thanks to sponsorships, and that's money they'll have to do without or risk suspension. AEW News next, and the company has been doing especially well lately, partnering with promotions including the NWA, Impact, and New Japan. Now, Tony Khan has his sights set even bigger, as he isn't opposed to working with Vince McMahon and WWE instead of against them. During a podcast appearance, Khan discussed the possibility of a partnership, saying, "They're more than welcome. As I've said, the forbidden door is open anytime. Just come and knock. If they were to knock on the door, then I would certainly be willing to let them in." When speaking to the New York Post, Cody Rhodes said there's no reason why a crossover between the two companies can't happen. I don't mean that's a thing that's been discussed or happening, but none of those rules that exist for other places exist for us. Wrestling is really this universal industry. It's highly unlikely that WWE will take Khan and Rhodes up on this offer, despite Finn Balor recently saying he's in favor of an open-door policy when it comes to talent, but we can only imagine what AEW versus WWE dream matches we'd see if this partnership ever came true. For a decade, John Cena put countless opponents away with the STF, a move that Arn Anderson knows well. While speaking on the latest Ask Arn Anything, AA revealed that he gave Cena the move after seeing Masahiro Chono performing in Japan, and revealed how Cena genuinely hurt some stars. He did it snug up when he first started doing it, and some guys said, "Hey man, you're choking me out, you need to loosen up." And just from that moment forward, John would have said, "Oh, that's not my intention." Cena is currently busy with filming Peacemaker for HBO Max and is expected to miss WrestleMania 37, but fans can expect him to bust out the STF, hopefully without choking his opponents out cold, when he does return. 2021 will mark 5 years since Bayley last held the NXT Women's Championship, and now the role model wants a chance to become a two-time champion. On Twitter, Bayley made that clear, saying she wants to wrestle NXT champion Io Shirai in what we're sure would be a highly entertaining match. There's no NXT TakeOver events planned for between now and WrestleMania, though that doesn't mean Bayley can't show up for a one-off appearance on a Wednesday, or perhaps WWE will save a match as huge as Bayley vs. Shirai for their biggest show of the year this April. Bayley was at one point the biggest star in NXT, but that was a long time ago. And we'll have to see how the role model and her current attitude fares in the black and gold brand. Now, after over 10 years away from WWE, Carlito returned to the company as part of the 2021 Men's Rumble match and had an impressive showing the next night on Raw. At the time, it was believed that Carlito would be back with the company full-time, with the idea of him signing an official contract being described as a formality, but that isn't the case anymore. Speaking to Joe Lowry on his Joe What a Day podcast, Carlito revealed that his current appearances at the Rumble and on Raw were one-offs, and he's not currently under any contract with WWE or any other promotion. When asked, the former United States champion said he'd be open to a return if the right deal came along, and also said he'd be willing to work with WWE. This is disappointing for fans who were hoping to see more of Carlito and his impressive physique back in a WWE ring, but for now, we don't know when the Apple Spitter will be appearing next. One name fans won't see on WWE TV for the time being is Renee Paquette, and AJ Styles is probably thankful for that. When the WWE on Fox Twitter shared a video from before WrestleMania 36, which showed Styles and Renee sharing some soft punches before they hugged, Renee commented, saying she accidentally made the Phenomenal One bleed. Saying she busted open Styles' palm thanks to their secret handshake, Styles' week wouldn't get much better, as he'd go on to lose to The Undertaker in the Boneyard match, but at least he didn't lose any more blood at the hands of the dead man. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.